Hey, everybody, we are back. Anthony Maritime Stewart coming at you, and
Matt Nerf Dog Richie.
that's right. We had a summer hiatus. I personally blame Matt and his son for I was too sad to go on.
By yourself.
I was too sad to go on without you.
I get it.
Also, summer is busy and stuff. It might not have all been your baby's fault, just partly.
Right.
Let us know in the chat. I will do 1,000 streams and never be confident that everything works.
Right.
So if you can't hear us,
Or if there's an echo or anything, let us know.
at any time, we are watching the stream with eagle eyes. So if anything is not cool, you let us know. I'm also going to be awkwardly leaning because I don't have my comfort monitor, as we say in the biz, to have that chat bigger.
Right.
So I'll be leaning in to check it out because I want to make sure I say hello to people and we do all sorts of talking. Without further ado, I'm really excited. We are back with a bang. We have a special guest that we're going to bring on, and I've been hoping to have him on for a while. When I started, definitely an inspiration of starting my channel, watching all of his videos, and I was like, oh, he has a cool persona. Should I do a persona? And I was like, no, I can't pull off a persona. But he can pull off a persona, and here is that persona in the flesh. We have DrFlux on the line here. Hello.
Hello. How we doing?
Good.
Thanks for having me on the show.
We're really, really glad that you could be here. Again, I always like to make sure the chat is letting us know. Let us know if there's any feedback, any issues with audio. So if you stream, you know that bringing in guests and having people in the same room is some complicated dynamics. But back to the exciting stuff. Yeah, we are super, super pumped to have you here. This year has just basically been a selfish travel through all of my favorite YouTubers.
Right, yeah. Just doing the rounds.
To try to get to know them. So why don't you, I'm sure people on this stream know, but tell us a bit about yourself.
Yeah, sure. So I'm DrFlux. I'm been in the hobby for probably about 3 years now. So kind of new in all things considered, because the hobby's been around for what? It's got to be 20 years or something, or 15 years or whatnot. Mm-hmm. So so kind of new. Just really little story about myself is I've gone through a lot of hobbies, and I usually do these hobbies for like maybe 6 months or so, and nothing's really locked me into like a long-term kind of hobby. So the thing about this hobby is it encompasses so much, and combined with the YouTube stuff, as far as like designing and events and gameplay and doing the mad scientist builds and that kind of stuff. And then also doing the YouTube thing and working those algorithms and stuff. It just kind of has like an overall fulfillment for me, and that's what we're doing here. And we just keep growing and having fun and trying to do stuff with and for the community.
That's awesome. I feel like I have a very similar thing in that even looking around this room, I'm just like I've always said hobbies are my hobby.
Right.
I'll have a hobby and I'll have it for a few years and I'll go in hard on that hobby. I've had several one wheels. I have
a one wheel.
There's a sim racing rig, a guitar, an arcade machine.
There's like a 6 foot.
I got the arcades too. I was into that for a bit.
Yeah. So, but this one, it's been. I'm not feeling that fatigue, and I think it's like you said. There's so many different aspects to it. Like between modding, the YouTubing itself is an aspect of it. It's definitely a hobby that leads you to getting out and meeting people, and man, it is. I definitely recommend to the few people I've met around here, and I know I dragged
me to Maryland.
That's right, took Matt to Maryland. I mean, he split all expenses. I didn't take Matt anywhere. I'm not Mr. Beast.
Right.
We carpooled. We drove to Maryland, and we had an awesome time. And like anyone who's never been to an event, like find one, drive to.
Oh yeah.
Try to get there. It's such a. It is fun. It is. I feel like I'm sure there'll be other things that strike my fancy along the way. I got some years left, but I think this one is definitely going to keep sticking. Like I don't feel the fatigue overall with it. Sometimes you get tired.
Sorry. What is like like one of your last hobbies that really kind of got you?
So
dumping a bunch of money into it or whatnot.
Yeah. So I say so. I used to do I used to do I was like kind of a weird part-time cosplayer. Every Halloween, I would do like increasingly complex builds for my daughter and I. For I did Beauty and the Beast one year. If only I wish I had. Where's my producer to get those pictures up?
Right.
But I was the Beast, and I built like a big, like complicated Beast mask, and I have that. I don't dare move any cameras right now, but I have the. Oh, I dare move the. I'm gonna move the target camera. Hold on 1 second. Here,
Okay.
and we can. Whoa.
Oh.
So there's like a Fire Nation soldier from the Avatar cartoon, and I built that, and I built. My daughter was the Fire Nation version of Katara from if you're familiar with Avatar: Last Airbender.
Yeah.
So so people would always joke, they're like, "Oh, can you build me a costume?" I'm like, "I spend so much money on these costumes. Like you have
no idea.
You have no idea. Like these are not practical." And you do know this because and I feel like that's
Yeah.
a hobby that kind of overlaps because you've built some cool things.
Yeah, so I've been doing a lot of the 3D printed stuff. I would like to move more into the foam, crafting, where they actually use the EV or that high density foam. But I just been buying file sets off, Etsy or whatnot, and just running them through the printers.
Yeah.
That stuff is hard because we use this program called I think it's like Armor Smith or something. It's something that allows you to take measurements of your full body and then put the 3D printed parts on you and adjust according to, because not everyone has the same body type.
Right.
I want to say Armor Smith. I can't remember. But through that, I can then cut it all up and then print, because if you don't do that, you'll have obviously I got more midsection and broader shoulders or whatnot. So stuff will be tight and stuff will be too big. So that thing works wonders in that regard. But I would love to do the foam.
Yeah, foam. There is definitely foam is kind of doing armor stuff in foam. There's definitely I don't know. It feels there's a craftiness to that too. That's kind of satisfying.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say my skill level is very amateur in the world of doing that. But it's.
I wouldn't sell yourself too short. You were the frozen monster at the local mall, and they thought all the kids at Halloween thought the mall hired someone to take pictures.
That's true. We had a Halloween where there was a hurricane. It was rainstorms, so there was weird trick or treating at the mall, and I had lines of children. It was funny though. But I wouldn't mind doing some more messing around, doing a hybrid of some pieces 3D printed. I never did it a lot before because printing is just such a time investment. But the P1P has
the bamboos
changed that a lot. Yeah, for people on the stream who are what's a P1P? I saw Not Enough Nerf in the chat. I know he just got himself a Bamboo Labs printer, and these modern printers are just so much faster. It's just making it feel more like a tool than kind of a hobby in itself. 3D printing was definitely a hobby I had that I did not enjoy. As a hobby, I just wanted to be able to
get it over with.
Yeah. I should go to the chat and be social and say hello to people here. I'm gonna lean in. Where's my comfort monitor? Damn it. Hello to the Foam Flinger. He was in here early.
Yeah.
Austin Christmas. That's a cool name. I hope you're a spy. Joseph Grant. I know him. I've actually sold him Nerf out of the back of a trunk one province over. We got my pal Not Enough Nerf. We have American Foam. He wrapped up a stream before this, and I feel like a tool because I was not there. I missed it. Sometimes when you create content, you get so wrapped up in your own stuff, you are unaware.
Just blinders.
Yeah. So I feel I definitely go make sure you are subbed and check out his streams. Let's see here. Oh, Austin Christmas was sent from American Foam. It looks like Austin Christmas is the gift tonight.
Right.
Nice.
Is he related to Lloyd, perhaps, from Dumb and Dumber?
Yeah. Let's see. Who else we got here? We have, whenever there's a name I can't. Archnite Industries. Nice to see you. We got Chicken Man. Miss Not Enough. We got the whole set tonight. Matasser Zops, who I realize I've never said his username on stream. I think he's from Australia. He is from Australia. He even said so. We've chatted before. Phoenix IT, Iron
Perry.
Frankzilla. I know that guy. He's always working on those containers. Every time I see a picture on his profile of a container, I think he's doing like some crazy Nerf build. And I'm like, oh, it's a container. You should make more container ship Nerf builds. We have Other Darts. Hey Perry, how are you? I always love seeing people I've met in person. It is awesome. Let's scroll down. Bear Arm Blasters. I know that guy from the TikToks. Paper Skeletons 3D.
Nice.
Boy, it is a who's who
yeah.
here. This is excellent. That's good. Thank you everyone thank you so much everybody for coming by. I always kind of worry, like, we haven't done a stream in a bit. We had that summer hiatus, and like I posted a couple pictures, and I'm glad that you people came by. I have to apologize too. Like I have the DrFlux on as a guest,
Right.
And like a true just egomaniac,
Just talking about yourself.
2 times the size in the image preview, and yes, I am. You need to poke me when I'm talking too much, man.
Sure.
That is. You know what? I'm gonna let. We were talking about like hobbies that we have. Matt, give us. You haven't been converted fully to Nerf.
My Discord.
But what? Give us a quick view of like what hobbies you've had and what you've enjoyed about the old Nerf experience here.
Well, as far as hobbies outside of Nerf, I've been gaming since I was evil. My internet asked for about 4 years before I finally delivered. So all games, board games, wall, board games, some stuff on the.
You have a board game YouTube channel. Not that many times.
A board game YouTube.
Yeah, you'd be a good
I
teacher
think
for people.
that would fringe on 2 broads, though. I feel.
They don't really teach them. They're like playing.
Playing? Yeah. No, the room channels. Yeah, it's a Nerf. Yeah, not. Did order a shoot game, I believe. After Luke's view, I could buy a spring, the larger quarter, and the dock.
Oh yeah. So the seagull. Actually, I know Doc's played the seagull. The seagull a bit. Looks pretty good.
No, we're not.
Oh, I think my laptop. It says it's. Hold on.
New camera.
You guys have to check Steam.
Oh, I can't even.
Like a weird power issue or something. I know it's plugged in, but I think.
Here, I'm gonna
Hey,
close Discord.
hey there. Can you? Hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I think so. I think we had. Let's see if we're back here.
Okay.
Let us know if we're back in the chat. I hope we didn't lose connection. I'm just kind of watching it here on YouTube to see.
Oh, was that your guys' end or me?
Our end.
I think it was my end. I think my laptop did not like the power adapter I was using and went into Energy Saver.
I'm over here frantically trying to figure out.
No, I think it was me. I'm just. I'm gonna refresh just the. the stream here. Doesn't seem like we're. Check OBS here. I mean, it looks like we're streaming
Yeah,
from.
it's still frozen.
Found,
Oh, yeah,
sound, but
yeah, it's
nothing,
frozen.
no video.
Shoot. I don't know what to. I don't know what to do about that.
Huh.
Because if I stop streaming, I feel like I'm going to lose everything.
Yeah.
Poop. But I think I might have to though. It's I'm gonna put a little note in the chat to watch for a new stream in a second.
They can hear you.
Oh, sound is patchy. Pick is frozen.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
hold on. Is that a lie? Let's see if it's a lie or not.
That would be cool.
That would be.
Oh, it's all back now? Are we live?
It's all back. Well, I'm watching it over here.
Hey. All right. Are we?
Okay.
Are we back? I think we're back.
Yeah, I think
OBS. Oh, okay. Thanks everyone for that. Sorry, and I know I really appreciate if you stuck around. If you did leave, I understand because it really seemed like we did not know how to fix it. So if it was me, I would have been out of there
At
too.
the door.
I could use makeup more than ever now because now I'm super
Stress sweating?
from
Yep.
like the stress.
Stress sweating.
I don't know where we cut off, but we'll recap it real quick. Matt was just giving a quick rundown on his hobbies.
Video games since age 8.
Yep,
Board games, a ton.
a ton.
And recently Nerf, not quite into it up to my neck yet, but I did pre-order a purple seagull with a bunch of attachments.
Ooh, nice.
After watching Luke's review.
Yeah. So Matt sent me a note that he bought something, and he sent just like
Emojis.
emojis, and I'm like, you got a seagull? I was like, you made my heart so happy. You're buying expensive Nerf all on your own. Fly, baby bird, fly.
That is my style though, and anything that I collect usually, I'll pay up for really nice stuff and have just a couple things as opposed to like you have a 10 by 12 that's full of Nerf.
Listen, I have nice stuff too.
Oh, I know, but I'm not gonna buy like 80,000 pieces of Nerf.
No, and you shouldn't.
No,
I'm having like a crisis where I'm like, I need to get rid of some of my Nerf. You must run into that too. You must run into that too, just like from a collecting like storage, all that.
So the way I've been running the collection after the last couple years is I try to keep one of everything. If I have duplicates of things, I'll either give them away or I don't really sell them at this point. I just give them away.
Yeah.
So I like building. You've seen the walls where I hang all like certain families of stuff on the walls. I'm about to probably swap all these walls out with some new things because I'm tired of looking at this stuff. But the other thing too is like when I'm doing content or when we're doing content down here, we kind of things will pop in our head like, oh yeah, that's kind of like the Balzuka or whatever. Like so we actually have it. Well, I don't really want to move the camera, but we have it all itemized. Like we actually can go find exactly what we need for a particular video, which is really helpful. And I think we're talking about actually doing a spreadsheet to where we can actually know what's in each bin.
Right.
Because
when you know the fun is almost dead. When you're like
when you get into Excel spreadsheets.
spreadsheet time.
Yeah.
But I love spreadsheets. That's where the fun happens.
I get that though. Like I do find sometimes I've told myself like I need to let go a little bit because I'll want to be talking about something. I'm like, oh, that's kind of like this, and then this aspect is kind of like that, and then like you can go through a rabbit hole of like, well, I can't even do that video until I find my But I do like it is so nice to bring up those comparisons, but like I do find I can get a bit lost in like show and tell of like all the other things.
I have a similar so at the offline cafe every Wednesday we used to do, well they still do it, Meeple Meetup where people come in and I usually teach a game and whoever wants to show up shows up. And similarly when I'm teaching a game, like mechanics and stuff, there's games that are similar, but I have no idea what someone's experience is. So I can't tell them, well, if you know this game, then it's like that, because I don't know if you've ever played that game.
Right. Well, that's just too. When you have a bunch of stuff, and you're like, well, it's just like the 1997 Exterminator.
Right.
It's like that doesn't help. So it's good to do when you can and when it makes sense. I'm gonna go back to the chat for a second just to thank all of our people who stuck around. Perry saying spreadsheets are also his jam. Love it.
You're gonna get some support on the size of your storage unit.
Nerf Talk knows the feeling. He does know that feeling. I know he's got a big old Nerf room. We got the Miller family here. That's awesome. Thank American Foam. Wait till you see my thrifting statistics spreadsheet.
Wow.
What a bunch. I never thought I'd have to say this.
Probability of nerfing.
Right.
I never thought I'd have to say this, but what a bunch of nerds. Wow.
A bunch of nerds.
That's amazing. Speaking of being big nerds. So there's I want to touch on it really quickly because there's the blasters that you buy, and then there's the blasters that get made. I just want to grab the Flux Nova that I'm very happy to have one of. I'm gonna grab a mag because when we bring out a blaster on the channel, we like to fire it. So let's go to the target cam. Really happy to have this. We were talking a little bit before the stream that building or modding a blaster, it's like the path of the Jedi.
Right.
You gotta build your weapon.
Find
first.
your kyber crystal.
That's right.
Yeah.
Find your kyber lipo and go. Semiauto. There we go.
Cool.
It's a great blaster. I've been using it on 2S to
Tone it down.
Tone it down a little bit. I've been using it over at the little arena where I play with kind of younger kids and stuff. So it's always good to not leave too many welts on the poor children. So some of those darts are pretty worn.
I see that.
We need that is the thing. It's funny, Nerf, we're we have all the darts in the world.
Do you though?
Those darts are only so usable.
Yeah.
That's the dark secret of Nerf. That's why sometimes I wish Boomco would come back a little bit with their handy straw darts. So I really like the Nova. I'd love to hear a little bit about what inspired you to do this. The design of it is really cool. It's definitely in a world of people making things that are sometimes a little too realistic. This one has a really, really cool, almost cyberpunk futuristic aesthetic to it. So if you wouldn't mind, I'd love to hear a little bit about the Nova. We're gonna put it on the DrFlux all you cam.
Okay, here, let me grab one real quick. We have just a pretty one. It doesn't have orange on it. This isn't one we use. It's just one we hang on the wall. And as you can see, it's pretty wild.
That's awesome.
Got all the multicolor from the bamboo. But the whole concept of this was to offer something that we could, customize and quickly change things out on it and change the overall look of it. And we had probably about 4 different other panel designs that we're looking to design out.
Okay.
This obviously was the blaster, more futuristic blaster, cyberpunk looking type of panels. And we wanted to do maybe a fantasy one or, just, I guess we could show the panel. Yeah, so the panels are just these little flat little panels that you can change out. As you can see, just by changing a couple colors, it really, really changes how it looks. You can get different looks off of it. The muzzles, we have different muzzles we're working on. And the reason why we did such a swept back grip is because we wanted it to plug into a larger thing here. Something more like that.
Cool.
Where that's still a Nova in there. It's still in there, and you can basically use the original hardware of this and then get an upgrade kit and then build this.
Right.
We even went as far as to put a little thing that slides in where the trigger is, because you've built one, it's a mechanical trigger.
Yep.
We actually have a little thing that slides in there, and you can put a switch in there. So now you can make it, have a solenoid in the back and go select fire and that kind of stuff. So that's kind of the nature of it. Is we wanted something more to have a lot of other products that kind of like an ecosystem, if you will.
Right, modular, customize it as you want.
Yeah. So we learned a lot with this one, and I think we kind of put it on hold because I think we might revisit another blaster that's a little bit easier to, because I wanted stuff that you can really take apart and really swap out, to where you could maybe take the front end off with like a quick disconnect, and then change out the mag to go from short dart to long dart and do stuff with the pusher. Just things are, you could change it more. So we're still kind of thinking about that, of how we could do that. Yeah, I don't know. And the whole thing is like, I just wanted a blaster, like, oh, it seemed like a safe entry,
Right.
No, it's very cool. It's really, I don't know. It's really, it's neat to. I mean, there are a lot of cool blasters in the community too. Like I think it's cool to see one that is different. I thought the side plate panel idea was really neat. Like I could even see, at some point, like we were talking a little bit, I think it was before the stream when we were talking about cosplay stuff, or maybe it was during, but like I could even see like doing a merge with like, and we've talked about it a little bit with like using a Jupiter as a core, where you like, you surround that with maybe 3D printed parts or EVA foam, and then you can build this like big monstrosity that has like this cool little functional core inside of it, which is kind of another cool thing. Like I did
like a functional Mandalorian blaster.
Yeah, like so I took my Jupiter, and we've chatted a little bit about this. Like I took my Edidarts Jupiter and like combined it with the Gauntlet XL, the Mega XL firing blaster that Marcus and I worked on, and used that trigger, and now it's like, oh, arm mounted proton pack. But this could be inserted inside of like a big foam thing, which you've done with your like your space armor, like your
the Doom BFG was one.
Yes.
And then we're working on another one. It's the I think it's the Stormtrooper. What is that Stormtrooper blaster, Coney?
It's called the Heavy Gunner.
The Heavy Gunner.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're shoving one into the big old Star Wars thing. And we actually started tinkering around with this. This was like a rag project I was trying to work on. I don't know if we're getting really close to the deadline, so I don't know if I'll be able to finish this one, but yeah, it's just like a little core thing, like we're talking about, where we can just kind of shove it in stuff.
Cool.
So we're kind of messing around with that too.
Rival's really good for that kind of stuff too, because you can you can have the mag come directly out the back as opposed to the short dart stuff. It's a little easier to like hide it inside of some sort of like cosmetic thing or cosplay thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Duke has a question, I assume, for DrFlux.
Yeah,
Will Nova files ever be available for purchase?
So we were going to make them available, but as of right now, Joe has XFoxGames has exclusive rights, and to respect what he's doing, we're going to keep them private for now. For sure. Now, if he comes back and says, "Yeah, I'm kind of done doing the Nova thing," then sure, we'll probably make them available for a very reasonable price, probably like, I don't know, $5-10 or something. So that's our plan.
It's a tricky thing to balance, because I know I get a lot of questions around. I mean, I think probably again most people here have seen it, but like I get questions as well around like the Gauntlet and making files available, and like it is a real thing of when you do this stuff, you spend so much time that if you have a bit of a plan, you kind of want to build a few. It also lets you like, even after release, do those final few things you want to do, because we're not giant corporations with like big QA departments. Like I've made little changes here and there after selling the first couple, like sent some files. Like that's a very real thing too. I might fire this, because I do like to, if we touch it, I like to fire it. Sure, I'm not going to mount it on my arm, but I'll see if I can get these. It's not for accuracy. Let's see how we do. Hey, we hit the target. Yeah. This is close range nonsense is what this is. But yeah, no. So I totally get that. There's kind of a time that makes sense for files. Like I'll probably do files at some point for that, but you gotta recover some costs too. We're a lot of this is labor of love.
Sure,
too. It's nice to pay for motors and switches and pieces. What do we got here? American Foam. Of 9 videos this year, I found an average of 44 blasters per thrift video, but only 2 deploys all year. One was a whiteout, though. Oh. Yeah, I have quite a collection of deploys. I don't have a whiteout deploy, though.
I think I have one, but it's not in great condition.
Right.
Yeah. I do have a whiteout Maverick. Like right over here, but
nice.
Collecting it's a dangerous dangerous game. It's
at this point when we go, so I still go thrifting, but it's got to be something real special for me to pick it up.
But for sure, I was joking with Matt earlier. I was just like, I gotta clear some stuff out because I'll be like, I have 2 judges, like the big judge. I have like 5 mastodons,
right?
And I'm like, I don't need 5 mastodons. But like, the thinking that paralyzes me is like, what if I want to bolt 4 of them together and call it the mammoth?
Right.
Like,
or build some sort of Voltron cosplay.
I don't know. I actually was thinking for Halloween. I don't think I'll get a chance to, but I was like, I would love to do like a quick and dirty costume. I was thinking of getting you to help me and do it as a storage locker. I shouldn't give this away. You're getting an exclusive. Oh. But I was thinking it'd be cool to do one called Optimal Prime, where it's all easy to prime blasters and just like tape them all over me, just like walk around with those. So that might still happen at some point. I would love to hear. I know we've talked a little bit about like kind of what got you into things. I'd love to hear a little bit about anyone that follows you, and we're talking about like the big cosplay pieces, and like you've done more than just have those like in a video. You've actually like worn those out at Jared's Epic Blaster Battle. I'd love to hear a little bit about kind of that experience and like reactions to that, because I'm sure you have like I'm sure there's a lot of wholesome stuff in going to those events.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's kind of the whole idea. Oh, we got the last helmet. Yeah, so this one was the last one, the last suit that we wore, or that I wore, and then so when wearing this type of stuff and being in an event, things that really are like you don't really think of until you're there is like obviously temperature. You know, you're hot. It's like hard to breathe. I found this really amazing neck AC unit, and it's not a fan. It's an actual AC unit, and it has these plates that go on your neck that kind of just pull the heat off your neck, and it really does help taking the temperature down. And so I wore that with this. Yeah, I wore that with this because I was wearing an actual like a cowl, you know, and so I didn't have much exposed skin, and I was this is mesh, so I could breathe in it, so that was a big help. But yeah, that thing really saved the day.
I just sorry, I'll interrupt for 1 second. Just someone was asking, what is the Gauntlet XL's chrono? The Gauntlet XL is 80 FPS on 2S, 90 FPS on 3S, and inaccurate at all levels. FPSs. But it's really fun to bop your friends with when they don't expect it. I've ran into the stuff around like heat in costumes.
Sure.
The mobility is the big thing. Like I really liked the rig that you built, like the chest rig. I think it was, you correct me if I'm wrong, like probably like the type of rig that people would use with like a video camera.
It's a stabilizing rig.
Yeah, supporting the blaster, because like I've built costumes, and I'll admit like the costumes that I've built for like Halloween type stuff is like looks are first and mobility is like more of an afterthought than it should be. Like I did a cardboard Voltron that like I basically couldn't move in. I was like a statue kind of.
Yeah.
So that's super important.
That was a big thing I was trying to address though, because I needed to move around, and most of the stuff when I build it, I can still do a light jog. Like I can still kind of jog in it, which was kind of important because I didn't want to just be too cumbersome. So to me, it's like a challenge. Like, hey, make this thing. It's got to look cool. It's the blaster has to perform, you know, and that's why I opted with the brushless and, you know, just the big backpack and everything. And I don't know, it's got all these things that I need to accomplish, and so it all comes together. And it just so happens that, you know, Jared's Epic Blaster Battle is a great place to test all of that, because I'm not going to run those type of things in our local games because it's a wrong place, you know.
For sure, yeah. It's definitely like a Rival in general. Like I use Rival stuff as kind of it's like the competitions. Oh, it's like we're just gonna have some fun with like high capacity stuff. Like that's kind of the thing. Like we could do like a tiny. I would love to hear your thoughts on this, like a tiny gel tangent. Like I get people when they hear I'm in a Nerf stuff, they're like, "Oh, have you heard of gel blasters?" And I'm like, "Yes, I have." And you know what? And I think for a daytime thing, they're pretty neat. Like if you and I took a couple that were, if we took a couple and like goofed around a bit, sure. But they're
especially like in a park, you don't have to worry about picking up stuff. Like it's fine, yeah.
But really quickly, you just realize that like full auto and high capacity is not fun from a game mechanic. Like my favorite gel blasters are the ones that have select fire, so I can like turn them down to like single shot or burst. And I don't know. Like I would say this sounds really cheesy, but just like to me, it doesn't have the same heart as like. Well, I certainly wouldn't have like a passion for it. I don't think I ran into many people who do, or like modding them and painting them and doing that same sort of thing. And I might be naive, but I don't think it'll get there. Like I don't know. What's your experience been with? I'm sure you've had some gel blasters cross your desk.
Yeah, we have a couple here. We have the X Shot. Actually, what is that, Corey? Or Pony Dog?
The what now?
What is that X Shot gel blaster you brought?
I don't. I'll look it up.
Do we have it here? Oh, okay. Anyways, that one was a lot of fun. I'd never run it, but we did play a high FPS game at local Nerfer's like house, and for one of the rounds, he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna run this," and we got to see like that thing was ridiculous as far as like, it's not accurate, but you can just rain, projectiles on people, and he had a hill advantage, and he just would wipe the map, and it started to make me think like there could be a place for it, maybe in private little get-togethers.
Yep.
But maybe the person running it has maybe maybe they're a boss or something, or some type of Juggernaut or whatever. So that might work. But have you seen there's like a thing by JSPB? It's they're balloons, and they have this thing that when you shoot it, there's like a piece of sandpaper that rubs on the balloon and pops them.
Oh no!
And so it's like a game mechanic where you can put the balloons on your shoulders, and so you could have multiple hit points.
Like
and then
Mario Kart style.
Kind of like Mario Kart, and that person could be a Juggernaut, and they're going out there, and they could have some high capacity gel blaster thing, or even a rival backpack fed thing, but they're going out there as a Juggernaut, and I'd like to experiment with that type of gameplay. I think it'd be pretty fun.
Yeah, that's very cool. So I've used gel for like outside parties in place of like a Percy's or a Prometheus. Just because I'm like...
Yeah, for outside would be good.
And especially like the cheaper ones that don't go anywhere near their FPS claims. Like they're only going like 115 FPS. I'm like, those are actually like really great for like either like attack and defend games or so like I think anything's kind of cool like if you come up with a reason for it. But I like just as like a general thing, it's my interest is definitely like I've definitely reviewed some, and I've definitely been sent some. I think the Unlock Blaster is like one of the coolest looking and feeling ones.
For sure.
That thing is that's a cool.
Straight out of Halo.
It is right, and I wish it fired darts. It is, the build quality is just amazing. It's beautiful.
Yeah, we haven't really reviewed pretty much any on the channel. I had a hard stance on them for a bit, but I don't know. I'm not opposed to doing some short form content or something on them.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll do full length videos on it ever, to be honest.
Right.
But
I think it makes sense. Like I will admit, like I basically like was sent a bunch like in the days of like it's some of the first stuff I was ever sent, and I was like, somebody sent me a toy.
All. Right.
Like I'm shameless. I'm like, I'm gonna talk about the toy you sent me. Sounds great, but definitely like at this point, I'm like, I don't want to. There's too much I want to spend time on.
Right.
To talk about this now.
I had a question for both of you actually. That kind of leads into that. I'm sure there's, like board games, I'm sure there's too much Nerf to review it all, right?
For sure.
Is there anything coming up in the next year or two you guys are looking forward to?
Oh, you go guests first.
I mean, I would like to see more development with the Hasbro's new Strife X type of pro line. If there's any more, I mean,
Right.
I don't know of anything else coming, but it would be nice if there's something else coming.
Right.
That's right. You have one.
What were your opinions on the Strife X?
I have a confession.
Oh.
I handed mine off prematurely to Silver Fox Industries,
Well,
so
we
I
were doing.
never really got to mess with it.
That sounds like a good deed.
Yeah, I'm hoping they design some stuff and I can get it back and do some content with it. So I noticed it was there was a flood of content and there was just a lot of stuff. So I just kind of sat back on that one. I'm really excited that it exists and that all that went into it. I think the battery technology is amazing because you have a built-in, because it has built-in smart charger with balancing and all that stuff. I mean, that in itself I think is really cool. I even jokingly said like, oh, I want to take the battery stuff out and put it in something else.
Oh yeah.
Because
Right.
it's really nice.
I mean, as just an amateur person, like the battery stuff is really, really a high bar to get over. Like if I don't know how to operate, charge, safely store 3S LiPo batteries, something like that just charges through USB-C, I assume, is pretty cool.
That's a huge point about the Strife X that I don't know if I heard many people saying, like, hey, like a Nova, like, hey, here, buy this Nova. And Joe's selling them for what, 130 or so or whatever. But now you got to tack on, 20, 30, 40 bucks for the battery, a balanced charger, which can go anywhere from, 60 to 100. Yeah. So once you start looking at all that, like, you're looking at $250 or so to get into a thing, where the Strife X is
plug and play.
all you need.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a big barrier too if it's like more of a one-off. Like
Sure.
you're someone who would get blasters more like tactically. Like for me, I'm like, well, I can use those batteries for all the things.
Right. You just buy handfuls of batteries off Amazon. You have lots of stuff to use them on.
I got you a kit for a Spectrum kit for your birthday.
Yep.
And you built it with my amateur soldering advice. we did that together early on.
Yep.
But like you have the blaster, but like you don't have the battery in your house because it's like you don't have the chargers, you don't have the bags, so it's like it is a barrier. I think that tech is really cool. I definitely, as it gets more available, would love to see some of that battery barrier go
yeah.
away.
It kind of pained me to see how because they had the battery that slid into the what is it, the rival is it the Chaos or this guy the Chaos. So they had that one that slid in there, and it also was cross compatible with the Nemesis.
Yeah,
and
great.
I was like, this is awesome. Like, I wish they did more of that. And then the Percy's came out, and it's like, no, that's the battery just for Percy's.
Yeah.
Like, oh man.
And
so
I actually took a few of I had a couple of those 7.2 volt like packs and like opened them up and put 9.6 volts inside of them, and then and then it's like, oh, now it's like Percy's power for everything. Like 9.6 volt and rival is really good, and like a more comfortable battery for some folks. For me, for exciting things coming out, man, I don't. It's really hard because like I have so much stuff that's already out that I've never talked about.
Sure.
That I would love. Like I'm almost overwhelmed. But like I might be about to have a full breakdown crisis on film.
Right.
Like I don't even like and the unfortunate thing is like there's so much, and when you're like you're fortunate enough to get to check stuff out, it's almost overwhelming, and you can like there can be something that's amazing and you give it hardly a second's thought because there's like another thing
just cycling through
that came out after. And what I'm saying is the poor YouTubers out there. Won't somebody think of the YouTubers, sir? But I'm really excited. I think I guess I'm excited for what's next from some of the creators that I've met as far as like Hobby Blasters. I love all of it so much, but like I'm really excited for even doing more Hobby Blaster builds now that with a printer that is faster that I
Right.
can like I found building like I built a Caliburn with my Ender 5 and man I found that to be like it seemed like such an overwhelming task to do it because of the print time and like you get a print that fails and it's just like oh my god it just took
forever.
It took forever and like I never really totally dialed it in. I'm like I want to get back and like I actually want to go back and like make some of the stuff that's like out there before that I just had never got to. I'm also excited about like whatever like the Nerf like any new Nerf X stuff that comes out. This leads me to a thing. What did you think of, I just showed Matt. I want to get your opinion in a second too. What did you think of the Nerf ball hype video?
Yeah, it's I mean, production value is definitely there. You got, you know, Hasbro money behind it. It's really awesome to see Luke involved. So
yeah, that was really cool.
Want to see he couldn't say anything about it, so he's just kind of smiling about it and like, yeah, there's stuff coming. But so that it just makes sense to see it. I'm like, oh, okay. But I still don't know where this is going and, you know, how this all unfolds and what it means for, you know, the hobby. And I'm curious because we do a game type here at our competitive events where it's like we use a ball, we call it the spark, and essentially you want to get it from the center to back to your goal. Like you're trying to like move it around like this ball, and in conjunction with getting, you know, getting shot at with, you know, blasters and stuff. It's a really, I don't know, it's a really good experience. So I want to see what this game type that they're proposing is kind of interested in it.
Yeah. No, that's cool. What did you think, Matt, after seeing
just a quick short of it? It looks cool. Like you said, the production value is amazing.
Yeah.
So I feel like to expand to the non-nerfers, you're going to need that, right? You're going to need it to look mainstream. You're going to need it to be exciting. It reminds me a lot of, my immediate thought was, this is modern age gladiators with Nerf, essentially, right? So it looked cool. It reminded me, what was that Halo gameplay? Was it Oddball that you had to get the ball to the goal?
I think so.
It's really cool. It's a concept I think would be interesting to watch, so I'm looking forward to it.
I'll be interested. Like, I think it looks cool. Like, you know, I mean, sign me up for pretty much any game. I kind of wonder, it's like, how far, I mean, like, the appetite of companies to like promote things in a sustained manner is like, how long will Nerf stick with doing this? Like,
I kind of had.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No.
I kind of felt like the Ultra campaign because they had that Ultra Championship, you know, where what was it, like Coop and a few people were in there, like. Kind of felt a little bit like, okay, is it just another one of those, or is this actually going to be something, you know, bigger and something that we're going to be talking about a year from now?
If they back it as an actual game as opposed to just another way to sell these pro blasters, then that'll be cool.
It feels like it's mostly probably a way to sell the I don't know. It's, you know what? I could be, when we're all at the Nerf Ball Stadium, just like with our faces painted and just like.
When we're watching Nerf Ball on the Olympics in 2050.
And we're like,
there we go.
Do you guys remember when the Super Bowl was about football?
Right.
Oh, those were weird times. I want to go back to the chat for a second. I get kind of neglectful when it's far away from my old eyeballs. Sorry, I mean my young and hip and cool YouTuber eyeballs. Oh man, there's been lots of comments. I feel very neglectful here. Let's go back up here. American Foam, I don't buy all the ones in the videos and the thrift videos. I mean, that's good.
Fair,
We would be in rough shape if we did. Mr. Dog himself, what's up? From Troy the Tinkerer. Juggernauts. Yeah, people just talking about kind of that Juggernaut gameplay. I think that's a pretty popular one too. Like I love doing games with like bosses. And like I usually do stuff like, again, I run a lot of like kids games and stuff, and it can have its pros and cons. But like I'll usually be the Juggernaut because like I know I'm not going to cheat, so I can't make any children Juggernauts. But like I get a kick out of it. They get a kick out of it. I'll make parents the Juggernauts a lot of times, and that's actually kind of a cool experience too because like these are parents who have like zero experience with Nerf other than like jolts and retaliators maybe. So like even like a Prometheus for them is like I found like kids look at a Prometheus or a Perseus like a modded blaster. Like they don't.
Yeah, right.
It's the same to them, so it's kind of interesting. We got Andy Griff in the house here.
XFox showed up.
XFoxGames as well. My goodness, that's great. Hey, saying hey,
And
Flex.
Bray.
He's saying hey, Flex. Hey, Maritime, and he just
Hey.
is snubbing Nerf Dog, snubbing him. Joe,
Well, maybe we're not going to invite him at the end.
Joe's got a big beef with you, Matt. That's what I'm reading into that. We have Beret here. He's dabbing in from the side. Nice to see all you guys. That kind of leads into another thing I would love to hear about, because like I know you play a lot too, and I think that's kind of a cool thing. Is a lot of the YouTuber people also like they play. They're into all of the pieces. So like,
Yeah, all aspects.
Yeah, like and I gotta tell a quick Matt story before I ask you about playing. Like,
Okay.
I when we went down to Maryland, I was like, oh, like that'll be fun. Matt's an easygoing guy. Matt is like the most competitive person on the planet.
Low key though, like
We're in this tournament. I literally assembled a team of like people who were like too not good enough for other teams, and we're in there, and Matt's just like he
Come on,
wanted
guys.
to win it. Like
Right.
I'm like I'm not even gonna make my own team next year. Matt's gonna like
Like one of those old 90s, early 2000s underdog sports team movies.
Yeah.
That's what he was hoping.
Mighty Ducks or something.
I mean, we were third from last. I feel like that was.
I'm happy we get a win.
That's right.
Yeah.
When we did get a win, I heard someone on the side going, I think that XL team won. They were very confused.
Right.
So tell us about playing. Like, I'd love to hear like a couple of your favorite games, what blasters you gravitate to when you're playing games. Tell us about the games.
Yes. Yeah, so we play probably about 3 or 4 different I call them styles, and it really depends on where we're at, because if we're at Borscht, so that's our local, like where all the locals come, and we play at a park. That gameplay is way different than some of our other stuff, where like we'll go to Captain Xavier's place, and that's a lot of close engagement type stuff where you're kind of going through little corridors and stuff. And then we play at another place that's more like high powered and competitive, and it's like you got your was it blaster tag associate, like BTA type of setups where you're playing that. So it just depends on where we're going and what we're doing, and that really changes what I bring. I've been spoiled by the pew pew. I mean, obviously this last summer, it seemed like every event I was going to, from the lower games all the way up to the higher competitive stuff, I was still running a pew pew, which next seasons, I don't really want to do that as much, because I want to play with all the stuff, because the pew pews, I don't know, it feels like cheating. It's just
Well, I didn't have it on target cam. That's all right.
yeah, it's so good.
The pew pew
So
is a good time, and I love that the pew pew, like I dial this down like to like, I don't know, 30%, and play like with children. I'm just like,
yeah, exactly.
Pegging them.
I'm like, I posted a picture one time of like this, like on like the mag mount on my leg. I'm like, it's too much for a child's birthday party. I don't think so.
And that's why I kept going to it, because you can adjust it on the fly. It fires it shoots any dart you put through it. I can take worn stuff, I can take waffle heads, I can take whatever. It just does it. So it's like it's hard to get away from it.
For sure. Like I love the Nightingale. It's one of my favorite blasters.
Yeah.
But like, man, if you don't put worker darts through that, you
temperamental.
are. Oh, Matt and I had like a bad time with our Nightingales at Maryland Mayhem, because we were like, we foolishly
Picking stuff off the ground.
Yeah, we refilled from the ground, and that's like you just can't. It was just Jam City. So lesson learned on that one.
Another thing too is the temperature, because I noticed that some of the hotter days and the hotter Nerf wars, and we don't have a lot of shade, the darts through a springer, they just became unusable.
Mush.
Like they get all gummed up and mushy, and so that's why I also started just gravitating towards just keep running the pew pew. I don't care.
Right. Yeah. It's definitely pretty fun. I see a couple of long ones on the chat here.
There's a mention there, an ad at you.
Would you put together an all Mega XL gauntlet team for Maryland Man? I love the idea of an entire team just running gauntlets. Just
handicap ourselves even more.
Just getting no tags, just peppered. Beret saying Ultra Dart Pew Pew. I mean, I'll talk to Marcus. Marcus over Foam Blasted in Germany. He loves that. He loves the Ultra. Lucia, hello. How are you doing? Nice for coming by. I am liking mine quite a bit. I agree with you with DrFlux too. It does feel like, I mean, I absolutely love it, but I kind of like make myself not use it all the time.
Yeah.
Because it is so
Exactly.
versatile. It would be easy to, but like, I don't know. Like that's kind of the fun of this hobby is using like lots of different stuff. Like I was talking to you a little bit before. Like I've really been loving the stapler, and I love it because I can like throw some long darts in it when I'm playing like really casual stuff. So I have also been using the Pew Pew for that. I absolutely love it, but it's like, it's basically I need to only use each blaster 1.7 times, and then I can use them all.
Right.
You know, because like there's just so much fun stuff. I know you have a relationship with Domachevsky. You have do you have all of Domachevsky's blasters?
I think. Well, he's made one that's it's like a rotating cylinder thing with you prime a bunch of like, I don't know. They look like these, what is this? The Mighty Mama type thing.
Oh
yeah.
It's
And so it's on a cylinder, and you prime them all back, and when you fire, it hits them, and they turn, and they
conductor's
fire
pistol.
each one. I don't have that thing, whatever that is. I don't know if it's completed.
That is currently on a ship making its way to me.
Okay.
Because I for quite a while have thought like, oh, it would be cool to have like a Springer semi-automatic that's like mechanical, and of course,
There you
like
go.
someone way smarter than me was like, yes, here it is.
Did I?
All right, so we'll
Did I
have to
see
talk after you get that.
Did I see a grenade launcher at Maryland that had a rotating those CO2 barrels?
You did. That was Frontline Foam, I think, designed that.
Right.
With,
I know Silly Butts has one.
Oh, okay. Maybe
yeah.
Silly Butts designed it, and Frontline Foam had a printout. Matt, why don't
Yeah,
you give?
maybe.
You
Give
gotta
us a
give
fire.
You gotta give the motor tier a little. It's really like it's hard to beat. It's definitely hard to beat. I know Matt was giving me a time check. I'm gonna go a couple minutes over just because of our big technical snafu. Not super long. I like to leave you guys wanting more, but I also I feel like you guys watched a blank screen for a bit, so we'll keep it going an extra few minutes here before we sign off. I just gotta go back to the chat. I'm leaning in because I don't have my I need that comfort monitor. Where is that producer?
Or LASIK, one of the two.
Let's see here. Or LASIK. Hey. Oh. Let's see here.
Were the kids freaked out?
We got some chatting back and forth in the
Shooting the pew pew? Were the kids freaked out shooting the pew pew? I assume that's the question.
So here's the thing about the pew pew. So like, all right, if people are looking for like, I feel like I have like, I definitely have the inside track on small children's birthday parties, which that doesn't sound great to say on the stream, but it's all very wholesome.
Sure.
I would say the pew pew is like my only complaint, not even complaint, because it is exactly what it should be, but it's almost like, because it's so compact and so like almost actually pistol-y, kids aren't as razzle-dazzled by the pew pew as other things. Like you kind of have to be an adult or like know
to really admire it and know what it is. And,
they almost don't.
Make it in another blaster shell.
There you go.
Well, yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, I would love to see more. I think Select Fire is really fun, especially how programmable it is. I do love this blaster. It's a fly core blaster.
That thing looks
Alex
cool.
at Detroit Dartworks. I got this one from him, and like he did that. Like it has that really cool thing of like a solenoid with a motorcycle blinker.
Oh,
so that it has. I took the battery out, so it has like Select Fire, but it's just like a motorcycle blinker giving it, and you can like configure it a bit. And I'm like, what a clever way to do a Select Fire build for like the more novice builder. Because I just thought that was really, really smart and really, really clever for like, for having full auto. Yeah. I don't think you can't go pew pew rate of fire with it, but like it probably does. It probably does like 7 or 8 darts a second. It's certainly very fair for like something that's fairly easy to do. It's pretty neat. I gotta ask, what you've had a ton of, and I know there's a lot of people that watch who also do stuff on YouTube. Like you've had a ton of growth. Like I feel like it was just like the other day where it's like, you were at like 57,000 subs, and then like it felt like really fast. You had like a big, you know, like you just had like a good bunch of growth. What's your secret? That's why I've called you here today. Tell me what you did.
What's the secret? I mean, you experienced it to some extent on TikTok. I saw you had a couple pretty viral videos with your modded D-Dart thing, but
yeah, for sure.
Really that's it. That's the secret is those. But I just had multiple of those. That's all it is. You get something to pop off, and I'm no master at it. As you can see, I do. You know, we are doing content daily down here to try to work that and try to get another one.
Work the odds.
That's really
of being more likely to have that happen. For sure.
And
it is definitely interesting. It's funny, my biggest video on YouTube is like for all the things that I've like built and all, like it's so hard to predict. Like I'll have videos where I'm like, oh, that's it, people will love this one.
Yeah.
No. The one that was the biggest one that I've ever done on my channel, like it's well over 1 million, was like the Nerf dog treat launcher. I'm like, oh
yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I know. Was it Beret was saying one of his first they call breakout videos was the thing that sweeps darts. You know,
right?
It's like because you got to think many parents are looking at that like, oh, how do I pick up all these darts?
Yeah,
so
for sure. That is
stuff like that.
If I had a list of questions I wish I could ban at my little arena, it would be, oh, how do you pick up all those? I'm like, it takes like 5 minutes. You just gotta you just do it. And if you're asking me, you can just help me for a minute. If you're a parent, come in here, help me pick up these darts.
I've been using the old person grabbers lately. I love those things.
Yeah, I know Family Foam Sport at Maryland Mayhem. He had like. He had one of those like I think like attached tactically and was like always dart sweeping all the time with the grabber. I'm like, that's a good.
I just found it's a collapsible one. I just keep it on my vest now.
No,
it just pops out and picking up darts.
No, that's very very smart. I'm gonna hop back to the chat here for one more minute and then we'll let's see. Where the kids shoot. Yeah, we chatted a little bit about that. Put it in the Minecraft Ender Dragon. You know what? That's something. Oh, Foam Flinger head to head out. Thank you so much for coming. Want to see Flycore and the SMG Zesty? Oh my god, the SMG Zesty is maybe. I think it's beautiful. I think it looks so good.
Right.
That I have post-traumatic stress from trying to close that blaster up. Oh my god, that was like the time I spent up like modding that to get like an extra 10 FPS. Like. And people are like, "Oh, are you gonna do this again?" I'm like, "I'm never opening it again."
Touching that again.
Ever. Like ever.
I think was a Frankenzilla. He put like a flywheeler in there, didn't he?
Yeah, he chopped it like it's already pretty small, but he chopped it down into a half dart flywheeler, and like I think that's the way to go. I think that's like making it a flywheeler is. I mean, I would rather make almost everything a flywheeler. I'm a bad case for that. Attach a dart sweep to a Roomba. I mean, that's not a. Yeah, Nerf Talk, not a fan of the Zesty. Yeah, it's but you know, before, well, that feels like a negative place to end. We'll almost end. What is a blaster that came out in the last year or so where you were like, boy, I do not like this. I don't like it. I'd love to hear. Was there one in particular where you're like, ugh?
Oh man, got through so many. It's probably going to be one of the gel ball conversion things. Oh. There's a few that I don't know. I mean I got the was it the Wingman? The Wingman that video where it shot the little tiny little foam. Yeah. It's like why? At that point I'm like, what are we doing here?
Right. Yeah.
I just really wish it shot like short darts or something.
For sure. I don't know. Is there anything, Matt, that I've handed to you and you were like, this is not fun? Why did you hand this to me? Or I might only hand you the good stuff.
You're pretty good. The only thing that comes to mind immediately is the Mandalorian blaster, but that's pretty much.
Oh yeah. But that was last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I've been off for a while.
I dislike it so much. It's okay to go back in time for that one. That was a weird.
You dislike it so much you sent it back.
It's the only Nerf blaster.
Oh, you sent it back?
I returned it. And so, like, I think it's, like, a little bit ethically, like, sus, as the kids used to say, to, like, review a blaster and return it. So, like, I don't do that. That is the only time I did do that. I was so angered by it, and I'm like, this costs so much money.
So much money.
I was like,
that's a lot.
I like had it out, I took it, and when I returned it, they're like, anything wrong? I'm like, it is non-functional.
Everything.
I was like, no, it is not good. And mine was like I feel like it wasn't actually the performance of it that angered me the most. It was more like the sloppy build quality. I didn't really care.
Didn't it have like Sharpie? It looked like I took a Sharpie and drew on it for the paint.
Shading.
It looked real bad, and it literally like advanced my carpal tunnel, just like firing it at all. Like it just like I did performance. I actually think it did okay for what it was. It like.
And it's so weird. Like the Alien one was good. The Halo Needler is good.
The Needler was awesome.
So it's
I love the Needler.
The Needler is definitely like a standout Halo limited stuff. I don't like that they've gone Halo limited into like everything's just skins now. Like that. Yeah. Like the Magic the Gathering Shell Strike. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
But like, so it's like the Shell Strike is like this little break action shell fed pistol, and it's like. Has a Magic the Gathering. Nerf has discovered the printing technology that X-Shot has. So now
recolor it, re-release it.
Yeah, but it's just like I just don't know what the hook is for that. Like I don't even mind the Shell Strike, but like I'm not sure what the Magic the Gathering hook is there. I want my limited blasters to like feel special. Yeah. So I don't know. On the positive side of things, to end it kind of on a more positive note, I want to ask everyone here. So when it comes to foam flinging, the year's going fast for you, and you got that baby just taking you just so far away from me and all my streams. You're back now though. What are you looking forward to do? You're probably looking forward to. I'm not going to put words in your mouth. You talk.
Oh, I'm looking forward to my Seagull.
Yeah.
And part of the reason I got that was you were talking about maybe doing some CQB stuff.
Absolutely.
So I figured that'd be pretty good blaster to have.
Yeah, we did a little in the arena. So the Board Game Cafe isn't open on Tuesdays. Yeah. So we did a 150-ish cap night and we had like 8 people.
Yeah, 8 or 9 people.
Yep. 8 or 9 people came and showed up, and like I opened up the arena, pulled back the curtains, and put up paintball bunkers in all the party rooms, and like we had the whole space, and it was a lot of fun to just like play. And I didn't have to drive 18 hours. It was really cool.
Right.
So I want to do more of that. What's something that you're excited for in this fading 2023 that's coming up?
Probably the Diana. We have one of those coming, and just because of how hard it is to get a pew pew or in the price tag, that it'd be nice to see other options out there. And I think that Diana will be a good competitor for that. So hopefully get one in hands and take a look at it. Maybe compare it to the Pew Pew kind of stuff.
Yep. For sure. Yeah, the Pew Pew is a weird one to talk about because it's like, hey, check it out. You maybe can't get one, but check it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it has the lottery to buy one.
Oh, okay.
So like I put in my name, I feel like for a year before like
you got one
being able to buy one. Like you're not winning it. You're just like.
They just can't keep up with demand.
The wait list has gone down a little bit. Maybe I'm not sure. You have to keep checking with them.
I think it was smart. Like I think it was smart though. It's like kind of created like this
demand,
demand and almost like a little owners club for I definitely totally support whatever somebody wants to try to.
So it's like Ferrari. You got to be invited to buy one.
Yeah. It's like Ferrari, but with like a bunch of guys with toys in their basement who don't have a lot of money. But it's, enough for pew pews, I guess. Yeah. So life is
enough for pew pews.
Enough for pew pews. That's the gauge. I know for me, I'm looking forward to. I might be trying to make my way out to I might be trying to make my way out towards Captain Xavier's area, and I might actually get to meet some of you guys in person a little bit later. So that would definitely be fun because definitely a highlight of my year this year was it was really cool to meet Beret, to meet Luke from Out of Dark. It's like we even
great people.
Even getting tagged by like people like that it's a privilege. I was like, Luke just hit me in the face with a dart. What a world! What a life I'm living. So I definitely hope that can work out to get out there. That'll be fun, and I'm sure you're looking forward to Ragnarok is very 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 soon too. So I look forward to seeing kind of news and updates from Rag as well. Any final thoughts before we wrap things up for the good folks on the screen?
I don't think so. Other than XFox, I will see you on the battlegrounds.
He did say he's like I didn't forget you, Matt.
No, it's too late. You shorted me. I don't forget.
Man, I've seen this guy. He's a lot better than me. So it's gonna be intense when things clash. Any final thoughts from you, Mr. Flux?
Doctor.
I do see Nerf Talk is saying thank you for the Fluxolante. Yeah, you're welcome. I'm glad it has a good home.
Oh yeah, I saw that video.
I want to thank you guys for having me on the show today, and it's been fun, and yeah, I mean,
Thank you for coming on. It's really like I joked about it before, but it is really cool to get a chance to actually chat live in a way where you're on video, but if I say something, you respond to it. It's crazy. After watching I've watched a ton of your stuff. We might have talked about this before the stream started, but like I remember your channel was definitely an early on inspiration to doing a channel. I love the whole DrFlux vibe and all that. I briefly was like, should I be some sort of there's already a captain, there's already, because I'm maritime on the sea, I'm like no, I don't think I can pull it off. I don't think I have the chops to pull off a persona, but you, sir, you do. So thank you very much for coming on.
I appreciate you.
And I hope we'll see lots more videos, and I'm sure we'll chat as time goes on, and hopefully we'll be in a video in real time sometime together. Any thoughts from you about do you think you might make it out to Maryland Mayhem some year, make it out to this
Yeah, I mean, I was asked Al asked me yesterday, and yeah, I definitely would want to next year. It just depends on work and
for sure.
But yeah, definitely.
No, that would be awesome. All right, thanks to all of you on the stream who came by. Thanks for sticking with us through some of those technical difficulties. That's all me. I had the wrong power plug plugged into my laptop. What a goof. I spent so much time like just bulletproofing the stream, plugged in the wrong cord into my laptop.
It happens.
Like a goof. All right. Thanks, everyone. I'm going to stop streaming now. I need a better outro.
You do.
I just like fumble.
We're only six Friday Night Foams in, and you haven't done one yet. So.
We'll figure it out eventually.